We are very lucky to have be part of a larger project as our train station is developed here in North Brunswick, and we're very fortunate to have representatives from Middlesex County here. Middlesex County is one of the entities that's making it happen for North Brunswick. So let me ask Mr. Carroll, Mr. Polos to come up and introduce, if you introduce everybody who's here for us, and then begin the presentation however you like.
Well, thank you, Mayor and Council. Appreciate the opportunity. Before we start, want to recognize a couple of folks we have with us from the county as well. Again, I'm John Carroll, Director of Public and Government Affairs. With us, we have our County Administrator, John Polomina, who wants to say a couple opening comments. John?
We're really, we're really honored that you're here with us. We appreciate it.
I was going to have these guys do all the talking, but John Carroll, obviously, all kidding aside, first of all, we want to thank you for having us tonight. And I speak on behalf of the commissioners, Commissioner Director Ron Rios, and the entire board. As you know, our commitment to North Brunswick train station over the last year or so, is well understood. We've had many challenges, obviously, along the way, but working closely with New Jersey Transit now, the county, and obviously with the role that Jim Polos is playing, and our team, John, as you know, John Carroll from the Director of Public and Government Affairs, and some team members. More than anything else, we want you to know that we are committed to this project. We recognize the importance of it, and we intend to see this to fruition. It's part of our overall strategic plan when you look at not only North Brunswick, but all of Middlesex County. We also have here tonight our head of Department of Transportation, Clete Angem, and also Samantha Perez, who works for Public Government Affairs, and also George Devaney, who's our PIO for the MCIA.
Right.
If numbers don't represent our commitment, then you can come to any board meeting and you'll recognize that the commissioners feel and know this is a very critical project. So we look forward to the continued success of moving forward on this thing and watching it become a reality for everyone. So thank you for having us tonight.
Thank you, Administrator. We are really grateful that you're here, and our plan is, of course, to take your presentation tonight, assuming you get it right on the first time, and we will be running it on our local closed-circuit TV into the indefinite future, and we'll have it available to be played on our township website. So we're hoping that we can get the word out to an awful lot of people.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Again, we appreciate it. And I do want to recognize as well Justin Davis, Chief of Staff with New Jersey Transit, underscoring their commitment to this project as well. New Jersey Transit has been a great partner to us, working with the MCIA, and we're grateful. This is the first time that a county entity has been put in the position to be able to project manage a train station with their support, so we appreciate it. So with that, I want to turn over to Jim Polos, who's the Executive Director of the Middlesex County Improvement Authority, to take us through the progress he and the team have made thus far. Jim?
Thank you.
John.
Mayor, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to present to you a little overview of the status of the project in North Brunswick. We're very excited and fortunate at the IA to have the opportunity to be able to project manage this new project for North Brunswick, and it's a unique opportunity, the first time that a county has had an opportunity to build and project manage such a site for New Jersey Transit. So again, we're very proud of that opportunity, and we're giving it our best to make sure that we do it right and as efficiently as we possibly can. I'm going to go right to the first slide to kind of orient everyone to the project location. As you look at the overhead photo, I think I kind of point to it. Maybe not, might be too far. So at the top right corner of the photo, you'll see the location of the station. Those of you who are familiar, obviously, with the location, this is at the backside of where the Costco development is, and the entire development is being done by North Brunswick. Down the center of the photo is the Northeast Corridor, that large gray path, 4 train lines. To the top of the photo, it is south or west, depending upon which direction you like to use, and train people and others use different ways of describing it. To the lower portion of the picture would be east or northbound. That would be towards New York, and to the top again towards the Trenton location. Across the tracks, on the opposite side of the tracks from the proposed station, is the Amtrak maintenance facility. That's the large yard area that you'll see on the left. And also, just to give you some spatial orientation, you can see the location of where the train station itself and the platform are going to be designed and constructed. But it's important to recognize that we need to get the trains to that station. And the question is, of course, how do they get there? They'll be able to get to that station along 2 additional tracks, which are in the photo to the right of the main northeast corridor. Those are called Delco lines 5 and 6. It is those 2 lines that are approximately 3.5 miles in length from the train station to the interlocking, which would allow stations to go down that track. It's about a 3.5 mile stretch of track that needs to be refurbished and be able to be brought up to code to accommodate passenger trains and passenger traffic. Now, what's great about this project is that we've been able to dovetail the design and future construction of this station with work that New Jersey Transit has underway. New Jersey Transit applied for a federal grant as part of a resiliency program to be able to refurbish those train lines, tracks 5 and 6, for long-term storage for their trains. This came, ladies and gentlemen, as a result of the Hurricane Sandy incident, where a number of trains were flooded, and New Jersey Transit prudently came up with a plan on location, probably multiple locations, this is one of them, where trains could be stored in the event of another catastrophic flood. So the good thing for this project is that train lines 5 and 6, Delco 5 and 6, are going to be refurbished as part of that resiliency plan through the federal funds that Transit received, and that will enable passenger trains to get from the Jersey Avenue station interlocking. Those of you who know, just about 3 miles or so down the track is the Jersey Avenue station, and at that location there is a interlocking that is going to allow trains to go from the northeast corridor onto tracks 5 and 6 and be able to provide train traffic to the actual North Brunswick train station. So the work that they're doing is a precursor and a necessary building block for the project that we're putting forth and moving ahead with. Just to give you some time frame, we received our notice to proceed from New Jersey Transit in October of 2021. That's the kickoff date for when this project began from the Improvement Authority standpoint. And we're proud to say that in December of 2022, we received full 10% approval on the concept design. The fact that the concept design has been fully approved and that 10% plan has been approved by Transit is a significant milestone for this project. It has allowed us to move ahead with the 30% design, which we are well into, and we anticipate having the completion of the 30% design sometime in March of 2023. If we can change to the next photo. And the next one, please. And we're just going to go to one more photo. This, ladies and gentlemen, gives you a little idea of the schematic of what the track is going to be looking like, what the platform is going to be. The orange area that you see denotes where the passengers will be able to go from the parking area over to the large, long orange location on that diagram is the actual platform length. And that platform will sit between the Northeast Corridor line number 4 and the Delco line number 5. Both of those tracks will provide both east and northbound transportation as well as south and westbound. So the platform will rest between track 4 and track 5. You'll notice up at the top right corner is where the passenger parking will be. And then, of course, there was a circle and plan as part of the master plan that North Brunswick did, where there'll be a drop-off and, of course, a ticket center for the train station as well. And that's right towards the center of the diagram. If we can go to the next one, please. This is the great photo, right? This is the one we all want to see. This is the concept drawing of what we anticipate and a kind of a rendering of what this project will actually look like. This is just, again, a concept. There may be alterations and changes to it, but at least it gives you an idea of conceptually what we're putting together for this station. At the bottom left, the gray panel area there is basically covered area to be able to get passengers from the drop-off location To the vertical section of this diagram, that vertical in there, there is a staircase and elevator so people can get up to the walkover. They'll actually be walking over tracks 5 and 6, which are active lines, and then coming down the stairs or the elevator on the other side to actually land on top of the platform. And again, the platform in this diagram is between tracks 4 and 5, and that's the location that you would be able to gain access to the trains. Next diagram. And we're going to go to the last diagram. That might be the last diagram. So let me just kind of update you a little bit. Again, with respect to the time frame, in March of 2023, just in another month or so, we anticipate being completed with 30% of the design. Again, another significant milestone for us in the project. We are on time and on schedule. We will then be submitting that to our partners. I should mention to you that this is a lengthy process and a rather complicated one. I could tell you in the 15 or 16 months that I've been involved with the project, I've learned a lot about train operations and understand the significant magnitude of the depth of difficulty in making these projects a reality. As I mentioned to you before, it's not just simply building a platform and having a train arrive. There are the track issues that have to be dealt with in order to get the trains to that station, signalization, electrification, communication conduits. There are a lot of issues that we have to take into consideration, which makes the process difficult. And we also need in every step of the process at 10%, 30%, 60, 90, and even at 100, we need to have sign-off from all the partners involved because of their vested interest in this project. Both Amtrak and Transit obviously have a stake in the ground with respect to what goes on these tracks, and they need to go through a very detailed vetting and approval process at each of those different benchmarks in time so that we make sure that we're covering all the technical aspects. We have assembled a wonderful technical team at the county level, and I will tell you right now that the partnership that we've been able to develop with the experts at Amtrak and at Transit has been absolutely seamless. They have been accommodating, they have been forthcoming with information, they've given great guidance, they've been timely, and we couldn't ask for better partners as we move this project forward. And we're keeping a great communication link with regular meetings happening literally every week in order to make sure that we continue to move the process down the road. We anticipate full completion of the planning and design process. And again, this is complete drawings at a point where we'll be ready to go out and actually bid for construction by the fall of 2025. So that gives you a little overview, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I know that you and members of your team met individually with council members prior to tonight so that council members would know where we stand. So we've had a little bit of a preview on this. Does any member of the council have any questions or comments this evening?
Yeah, I have a question. How many parkings you plan to make there, or you have any other commuter service like buses or something? They will take it from different places so there is no congestion over there with the parking, or how many people will go to New York and that?
Sure. Obviously, parking is part of the original plan. It is part of the original developer's commitment to make this project a success. And we're in the process right now of going through preliminary design and calculations to determine the best way to design the parking. We also need to look at utilization of the station to make some determination as to, again, what the best parking design and the maximum utility of that land that's been allocated should be.
You planning any buses or something just to transport people, when they go there or they come back, so that there is no more lot of parking spaces we need?
Candidly, we're a little early in the stage to determine some of those details with respect to the movement of people. We're really more in the planning stage at this point, but those kinds of discussions certainly can come up down the road when it's a more appropriate determination as to what the actual passenger load would be and the movement of people within the facility.
And I think we have to remember we're talking on two different things. We have the transit village and the whole transportation concept. And tonight, you're here largely to fill us in on the train station part of that whole concept.
That's correct. And I should also mention, too, that Transit also is in the process of doing some of its own surveying to determine some of the usage of the facility, some of the usage of the train, passenger load, and so forth. And that information will be shared at some point in the future.
Okay.
And if I may just add, Councilman, to that question as well. Part of the reason, as Jim mentioned, we have a really robust project team working on this. It's part of why our department head of transportation, Khalid Andrew, is at the table, because as we get farther along through that design, that department working with NJ Transit would be integral in working out some of those details.
Thank you, Council President.
Yeah,
Councilman Andrews?
just to fill you in, we had discussed in the planning stages of this, we actually met with KMM, Keep Middlesex Moving, and we talked about interlocal, and this is, again, we have to actually get closer to a train station before we can start, but we can start sooner than later. But we talked about some type of interlocal thing so that you don't have everybody driving over to the train station, maybe a small jitney service. There was some funding, I think, available for a while from the transportation to fund some of that stuff, but we'd have to plan that out. The one question I have is, so there's got to be close coordination, because without those train tracks, we could build the thing and then people could stand there and wait for the train, but they won't be able to get on one because there's no train tracks. So I would hope, I guess, you're closely coordinating with transit. Do they have a schedule which kind of dovetails with yours? Or, if you're looking at going to bid in 2025, obviously the tracks would have to be close to being completed or completed by that time. Do you have any information on that?
Well, you're absolutely correct. There needs to be a kind of a seamless operation between what they're doing and the work that we need to have done. They have completed all of the plans. They're at full 100%. They're finalizing some last comments now with the two partners, Amtrak and Transit. And then it's their hope or expectation, I'm assuming maybe as early as the end of the year, to have that fully completed and start to go out for the bid for the work that they need to do.
Yeah, the initial.
By the way, Justin Davis is on, and he may have some more to add to that. Justin?
That's correct. We're at 100% design, and we're doing some early environmental work right now on the site itself.
And just to back up, Mr. Davis is with New Jersey Transit?
That is correct.
Good, thank
This
you.
is the chief of staff to Kevin Cook.
Oh, that is with New Jersey. Thank you.
Yeah, and with regard to the buses, the initial idea was on the other side where all the trailers, Station Avenue comes in on the right side, looking, what would that be, west. Initially, we had conversations with a bus company to use that area, such as like the one down in Cranberry, or if you're familiar with that. But their interest has gone away. They weren't interested in doing that anymore. But as part of this project, this isn't just for North Brunswick, as you've said, this is really Middlesex County. I mean, South Brunswick commuters will be coming here, people will be coming from East Brunswick and from Franklin and places like that. So the whole idea of this is building a transit village is to get cars and things off the roads. So we do need to have a coordinated area planned for some type of transportation to get to the station. And this is planning down the road, but we need to start thinking about that now. And the other one, which I mentioned during the call, is we have a major housing complex on the other side of the tracks. And at some point, we need to start talking about a crossover in some way, shape, or form to be able to walk across over the top or under. Maybe that'll be as the station progresses, but we need to think of them as well, because we don't want them driving all the way over and coming across on Adams Lane. We'd prefer if they can just cross over, kind of like some of the tunnels and things that happen in New Brunswick and other places. I think Metro Park and some of those tunnels and things where people can walk under safely, and they can just come from their communities and walk over, and it actually is an improvement to their property values as well.
Thank you, Councilman. Anybody else have any comments? I did want to note that our developer partner, Jonathan Frater, has joined us. Thank you for coming tonight, Jonathan. Very much appreciate it. We'll all be rooting for the Vikings on next year. That's right, next year. Is there anyone else you would like to introduce before I ask if there's any members of the public just here for this presentation?
I don't believe so, Mayor.
So we will be having our regular public hearing later, but if anybody's here who has questions about the train station who would like to ask now's the time we can do that. So if anyone is here live, please raise your hand. Or if you're with us on the go-to-meeting and would like to have a question or comment, please raise your hand. When Mr. Polos speaks, he answers all the questions.
I appreciate that, Mayor. Just before I close, I just want to also thank the township, Michael Ritz, your whole team, been extremely cooperative in everything that we need. The developer, Jonathan's been great in working with his team, and again, our partners at Amtrak and Transit. This really needs to be a group effort. It's a team effort to get a project of this complexity done and done properly. So without that kind of team spirit, we wouldn't be able to be as successful as we have.
So, Mr. Carroll, what, after tonight, if people watch this presentation and they have further questions, where might, besides the township website, are there other places that they might look to get information?
Thank you, Mayor, for that segue. Appreciate it. We are pleased, again, just as we wrap up here, and again, Mayor and Council, thank you very much for the time. We're launching a county webpage, middlesexcountynj.gov/North Brunswick Train, where residents, those watching today and here, as well as across the entire county, can keep up with not only the history, but the future progress of this project. So as we hit further milestones moving forward, they'll be up on this site here, so certainly would encourage residents to check back. And if they have any questions, there's a easy way to be able to submit inquiries, which we'll get over to Jim and his team to be able to help address along the way. So, and again, would also offer as a resource the Office of Public and Government Affairs at the county. Happy to be helpful to Mayor, you and your team, as well as the residents.
Thank you. And I hope you know that all the members of the council and I are grateful that you're here, but as this project goes forward, we want to remain a solid partner with you for everything you've done for us. So I hope you'll feel free to reach out to any of us at any time if there's anything we can do.
Thank you, Mayor. We appreciate the partnership very much.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. If you'd like to watch a really interesting business meeting, you're invited to stay.